Real estate investors are flooding to Texas, but are they choosing the right town to invest in? Texas is huge. There's a lot of options, and you want to be sure that you've picked the right town. So in this video, I'm going to put Bryan-College Station, my chosen town, up against its two big brothers. To the east, we have Houston, and to the west, we have Austin. Those two towns are great towns to invest in, and the data supports all three as a great option. I want you to make the decision that is best for you. Just know that I do have a bias. And guys, when I pick something, I'm usually pretty biased in that direction. For example, I went to the University of South Carolina, the greatest school in the nation. Then I joined the Marine Corps, the toughest fighting force known to man. And now I live in Bryan-College Station, and that is the greatest town to invest in. You can't convince me otherwise. But again, this is a decision you have to make, not a decision I have to make. So we're going to cover all of that and more on your favorite channel, Investing in Bryan-College Station, where I help you grow your wealth through real estate in my favorite towns of Bryan-College Station, Texas. Guys, sit back and enjoy. This is going to be a good one. Guys, forewarned, this is a caffeine-driven, data-based episode. So there's gonna be a lot of numbers thrown at you. I'll have most of them displayed over my shoulder here. Just know that if you want to do your own research, I'll have links down below to my sources. The majority of the information I get is on Texas A&M's Real Estate Research Center website, a great resource for anybody looking to invest in Texas. And I also use BiggerPockets. They've got some really good market data that's helpful as well. That being said, we're gonna jump into population. We're gonna look at the total population, the population growth since 1990, the population growth since 2015, so a more recent population growth, and then I'm gonna give you kind of my thoughts. So let's throw some numbers on the board and talk about population as of 2024, and this is on Texas A&M's Real Estate Research Center website. Starting off with our most eastern city, Houston. It's also the largest city at 7,796,182 people. That is mind-blowingly large. That is the greater Houston metro area. Up next, we got Bryan-College Station. We'll always put them in the middle because, of course, they're kind of in the middle of the two towns. We have 287,000 people here, 287,462 if you're playing along at home. Guys, that puts us at a pretty small town relative to our giant neighbors, Houston and Austin. Speaking of Austin, they have 2,550,637 people. Again, that makes it a pretty large city. 2.5 million's no small town. Bryan-College Station, relatively speaking, pretty damn small. Now, if we go all the way back to 1990, I like to see a long trend of growth. So what is the average population growth year over year since that time? Well, Houston's average population growth is 2.38%. Bryan-College Station right there with Houston at 2.36%. And then Austin, known for its population growth, has seen a 3.5% average appreciation since 1990. And that's great. But what's been happening more recently? Well, if we go back to 2015, let's look at the total growth since 2015. So since 2015, Houston has grown a total of 16.39%. Bryan-College Station has grown a total of 14.69%. And Austin has grown a total of 27.35%. Mind-blowingly fast. So what do we know? We know that there is a reason why Austin is the poster child for real estate investing. With that level of population growth, you get great appreciation. So if you're looking purely at population growth, my recommendation would be Austin. However, I do like to throw out why I like Bryan-College Station for each of these metrics, and I like the fact that Bryan-College Station is not a major city, and that's one of the driving factors to lead me towards Bryan-College Station as a place for me to invest. You should make your own decisions. Population growth usually leads to housing appreciation. So I looked at A&M's website and we were looking at the median home price for each of these towns and then the average increase, the average appreciation of those houses. Starting off with our first breakdown, this is since 1990. and this is the average appreciation. So Houston's average appreciation, 5.08%, Bryan-College Station, 4.96%, and Austin, 5.64%. So since 1990, Austin has been the better performer, followed by Houston, then Bryan-College Station. Now, if we look at the cumulative growth since 2015, Houston has seen a 59.52% increase, Bryan-College Station a 69.88% increase, and Austin a 69.23% increase. This blew my mind. Bryan-College Station had better appreciation than Austin, according to these metrics, since 2015. Guys, as of recently, we have seen a lot of growth in Bryan-College Station, a lot of attention, and a lot of appreciation. Of course, history does not necessarily indicate what's going to happen in the future, but it is a good way to determine what direction a market is headed. The strong appreciation is probably the number one reason why I love investing in Bryan-College Station. If you want to take advantage of the appreciation, if you want to invest here in Bryan-College Station, I'm a real estate agent that works with investors, because of course I am an investor. I'm an agent with the Schwartz Realty Group and Keller Williams here in Brazos Valley, and I would love to help you out. Go ahead and book a call with me. My Calendly link is in the description below. Talk to you soon. Now let's talk about median home price. Guys, what do houses cost in each of these towns? In Houston, according to A&M's Real Estate Research Center website, the median home price as of their most recent data is $335,000 even. Bryan-College Station, $314,278, and Austin at $440,000. Based on all that, Bryan-College Station is the deal of the century, or at least of these three markets. Guys, none of these are all that far off. Of course, Austin is more expensive. No surprise there. You got to pay to play to invest in Austin. Now let's talk about a pretty important metric. This is the rent to purchase price ratio. Okay, this is the closest thing to the 1% rule that I look at. And when you look at an entire market, it's a good way to compare apples to apples. Again, this is the median rent rate to the median purchase price. And this ratio was pulled off of Bigger Pockets. They have this metric available for you. Again, link down below. Houston is at a 0.54%. Bryan-College Station also at a 0.54%, and Austin at a 0.38%. The high prices in Austin have just created a scenario where the rents have not kept up, so you're not getting as much bang for your buck. Generally, the higher number means higher cash flow. In this case, Houston and Bryan-College Station are looking pretty good. If you're a buy and hold investor, you dang sure want to make sure that your tenant has a JOB. So we're going to look at unemployment rates across the three cities. Houston at 4.36%, Bryan-College Station at 3.55%, and Austin at 3.35%. All three cities relatively low. Of course, Houston is a little bit higher than Austin and Bryan-College Station. And again, with the economic conditions that we're seeing right now in 2025, you do want to keep an eye out on these rates. It's a good indication of whether or not we're going to see rent drops or effects to rent or increases in vacancies. Because of course, if somebody can't afford to live somewhere, then you're going to have more vacancies. We also want to take a note of property taxes. If you are running a buy and hold investing strategy, one of your bigger expenses is going to be property taxes. Well, on average, Houston has a 2.3% property tax, Bryan-College Station a 2% property tax, and Austin a 2.2%. Again, this gives Bryan-College Station a slight edge over the larger cities. Lastly, we want to look at things like vacancy rates and market activity. It's super important to know the economic driver of the city you'll be investing in. If you don't believe me, just ask anybody who started investing around 1990 in a little town called Detroit in a dying auto industry. I think I've proven my point, so let's jump into the driving economic industries in these towns, starting off with Houston. They're mostly an oil and gas / energy driven industry. They also have a lot of healthcare. They have some of the best hospitals in the nation, and aerospace. You know, like You ever heard of like, Houston, we have a problem? Well, that Houston is Houston, Texas, not a guy named Houston. I didn't know that. You might not have known that, but now you do. In Bryan-College Station, our overwhelming economic driver is Texas A&M, which of course is higher education, but we also have growing biotechnical, healthcare, and manufacturing. And in Austin, it's mostly a tech town, so the tech industry driven by companies like Tesla and Oracle, but they also have a lot of data centers, which are super important for all your cloud-based software, specifically AI, and I don't think that's going anywhere anytime soon. Let's circle back real quick to Texas A&M and why I think that's a great economic driver. I personally love the fact that we have the second largest university in the nation as our primary employer and economic driver. I love the fact that A&M alumni are so dang loyal to their school, my wife being one of them. I never see her without her coveted Aggie ring on, and most of the alumni are the same way. And then lastly, I'm of the belief that great universities like A&M will create the leaders for tomorrow no matter what kind of economic condition we're in or which industries are booming or busting. I believe that schools like A&M will adjust to the economy that we have. So whether it's agriculture, whether it's healthcare, whether it's energy, or whether it's the tech sector, I believe that A&M will create the leaders for those specific industries and therefore will always be relevant no matter what direction our overall economy takes. And that's my plug for Bryan-College Station. It's a good sized town at 250,000 people. It's a growing town. It's an appreciating town. It's a good price to rent ratio. It has relatively low taxes for Texas, and it's driven by a great economic driver known as Texas A&M. If you disagree with me, that's why we've got comments down below. If you agree with me, that's why we have a like button and a subscribe button. Almost forgot, bonus content. Every single episode, I share a client-based question, and this episode is no different. So, this is an actual question from an actual client of mine. They said, Greg, do you really think that South Carolina's football team is going to be good next year? And the answer is yes, always, 100%. The best football team in the nation next year, regardless of whatever else happened in the previous year. If you're watching this in 2025 or 2026 or 2027 or 2028 or 2029, the answer is the same. The Gamecocks will be the greatest football team in the upcoming football season. Hopefully that answers your question. Guys, if you've got questions, we've got comments down below. Guys, of all of this, I only have one real ask, and that is until next week when I drop my next video, that you take it easy.